that gets to a national level of election gets to be rich. It's corrupt, too. I can tell you, at the age of 27, I was offered the seat on the board of a college. You know why? Well, I got promoted, and I happened to be in charge of 750 people in an architectural firm before I changed my career. And I placed a lot of people. I placed hundreds of people a year in jobs, and they wanted my power to place people from their school. See, that's how these people work. If you're a senator, you can do favors for those companies and those people, and they'll make you a board member for a stipend or a mere pittance of $100,000. All you have to do is get up in front of a teleprompter and talk to the college, and that fee that's extraordinarily too much is really just a payoff for other activities that you've gotten them. If you see somebody go to a college and speak and they get paid a lot of money, remember they've done something else for that college, or they're going to. Colleges can't give $250,000 out just for 1 hour of talk. If they are, then the students ought to be saying, I want my fees reduced. And there's 200 of us, so we want us all to have our fees reduced by $1,000 because that was absolutely worth. I should have paid me to listen to that, right? That's what it's like. So we have corruption. Oh, I'm getting off track here. Politics is a problem. Sam Brown isn't going to do anything. In fact, all that's happened in Massachusetts is that it's slowed down the Democrats a little bit. They're playing this game on media now, telling you, oh, gosh, this is going to slow down Obama. And you hear Obama going, oh, well, I'm ready for the fight. And the Republicans say, oh, we're going to slow it down and stop it. Guess what? This is the Hegelian dialectic. Who cares whether he's Republican? The point is, why is everybody aligned on party lines? Why are the Democrats voting because they're Democrat, and why are Republicans voting because they're Republican? You want to know something? They ought to be fired for that. They ought to be voting because they've been told how to vote by their constituents. You go, well, we've elected them into office. No, we haven't. Senators are corrupt games of power play by Diebold electronic voting machines that tell you who's going to be in office, just like they did in Ohio. Even the man that helped program him to be crooked testified in court in the state of Ohio and is on record of having thrown the elections in Ohio, which actually seated a different person for president in the United States. Did it change anything? No, but he was in court telling the judge, I made it do it. What are we going to do with this? Nothing happens. Nothing happens, does it? You know what's happening? We're playing the Hegelian dialectic again. We've jumped from, oh gosh, Obama was changed. We all knew that wasn't true. Everybody that's already woke up knew that wasn't true. So everybody that was, oh, so sad, and, you know, if they were absolutely dead set against Democrats, thinking that, oh, you know, that this old guy called Bush was the right guy and we shouldn't have Obama, they're crazy too. We shouldn't be at war in a country that doesn't do anything to us. Never did. Ends up that those were lies, weren't they? Gosh, and those lies were supported by the Prime Minister of England, who also lied that we had those problems. Gosh, there weren't no threats from the people that we attack. Oh, well, let's just go ahead and attack them anyway. We've got to end this. If we don't, we will have enemies, and that's what Ron Paul said. You're going to make an enemy out of an enemy you don't have if you attack them. Folks, the goal in Afghanistan is not Afghanistan. There's going to be a repercussion beyond our ability to settle. And I don't mean for the United States, but we can't afford to have this planet go to war. We'll all die for nothing. Why? Because they, who's they? The power elite, the ruling elite, the ones that meet at the Bilderberger meetings, the Rothschilds, the guy that made the new deal with China, with banks. Oh, gosh, what's that all about? Well, I'm going to save that for later. In the meantime, let's talk about viruses, because it'll end up right back, guess where? Into politics. But there's something you need to know, and I'm not going to let up on this, folks. Last Friday, I talked to you that you need to reset your H1N1 swine flu meter to 0. That's over. The first release, the first round or wave, whatever you want to call it, of H1N1 is done, pretty much. But we really have a new batch being incubated. Is it a problem? I'm going to tell you how much of a problem it is. And I'm not going to be easy with you today. So if you don't want to be scared out of your wits, you better hang up now. Because this is a scary topic I'm going to talk about. But I'm not giving you anything that isn't true right now. And I'm not going to give you anything that isn't the truth from the standpoint of the information that I've got. But I will tell you this. If it isn't turned around, we're in deep trouble. If you recall, last April, March, April, we had the outbreak of H1N1. It progressed. A few people said, oh, blah, 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 blah. It's going to stay in, Mexico's the problem. And then pretty soon, gosh, it was outside of Mexico. And a few months later, it's in a lot more places and in a lot more places. And here it is, going on a year now, close to a year, 9 months, easy. It's all over the world. That's how you can start the meter for this new thing. What is it? The CDC has finally released sequences of this H1N1 change that include some from India. Okay? There's some changes they got from the virus, the H1N1, that has changed. Now we're talking about H1N1, but put a different label on it. Say, like maybe the new H1N1, if you want to, because it is that much different. I mean, if one over here makes you sneeze for 5 minutes, and this one over here makes you puke your guts out for, 30 days, and they still call it the same flu, come on, give me a break. It's not acting the same. We don't care whether you call it the same. It doesn't do the same thing. So what I'm trying to tell you is this new flu that is still H1N1 is not doing the same thing. So what is it? Well, this CDC, Centers for Disease Control in America, has reported and has added in their report to the fact that the evidence is there, that the spread of this new virus, this new pleomorphic change of the virus, might actually not be random. How about that? In other words, what that means is if somebody actually originally had a random change of the virus and somebody next to them got the same change and got sick and died too, gosh, it may not be random that change occurred. You might actually be contagious. Now, you say, well, doctor, you told us you can't catch a virus. Yes, you can, but you can get rid of it if your body's prepared correctly. What happens is you can have a virus upgrade out of your system out of nowhere with nobody else sick. These things called prions can upgrade from not being alive and dead protein matter or particulates, we call them proteins and prions, can actually aggregate and have a certain peculiar behavior as if they are alive. And they won't be good for you. Well, if you get a protein that happens to be aggregated and acting bad, we call it a virus. And that virus can either be upgraded and come out of nothing in your body because you haven't allowed your body